Mace Man says, they made the mythical Gear 5 fucking Looney Tunes. I'm gutted. I'm sorry, Mace. Did you just get caught up? I apologize that you're disappointed with Gear 5, my friend. I'm assuming that you haven't been reading the manga, or if you have, you haven't been keeping up with, if you haven't known about Gear 5 until you saw the episode. I'm sorry to hear that you're disappointed. If I can offer anything to make you feel better about it, I will say that Oda has clearly been setting this up. If you look back at earlier chapters, you can see a lot of examples of Luffy using his rubber fruit in ways, like, obviously we chalked it up to, oh, Luffy created his own move. Luffy named his own move. It's all Luffy's imagination. But when you look at the way he does his attacks, a lot of it you can trace back to Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and all that old school shit. So, for example, Gum Gum UFO, that might be a move you like. I love Gum Gum UFO. It didn't hit me until we got to the Gear 5th reveal in the manga about a year, it was March of 2022, about a year ago from now. When I first read that, I had a similar reaction. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this just yet. I looked back through the manga, and as I started to go back and I started to look at how Luffy fought his opponents, I started to realize that a lot of his moves are straight up Looney Tunes moves, man. The Gum Gum UFO is fucking Tai the Tasmanian Tiger. There's no way you can cut it in which it's not. That is Tai the Tasmanian Tiger. When Luffy makes the tornado with the bottom half of his body and he's spinning around and hitting people with it, that's Tai the Tasmanian. That's Looney Tunes. When Luffy does Gear 3rd, and how does he do Gear 3rd? He blows into his thumb. So if I told you with your rubber devil fruit that you just ate the rubber devil fruit, you have the rubber powers. If I told you that with your power, you could blow into your thumb, just blow air into your thumb like this. If that would make your arm big, does that sound like rubber to you? That's not rubber. That's not rubber. The way I see it, this blow into your thumb, make your arm jacked. That's Tom and Jerry. There's clips you can see of like old school Hanna-Barbera, old style cartoons. People doing this, the cartoon characters doing this. They want to get buff. How do they get buff? One of two ways. And we saw Luffy do both these methods. One of two ways. Either you blow into your thumb and you make your arm big and jacked, or you have a belt and you tighten the belt and you make your upper body big and jacked. Which Luffy did both of those things. So the way I see it, I feel like, especially, we know Luffy's personality. Luffy is a serious guy when he needs to be. But what is the majority of Luffy's personality? What are we used to? Like, if I see Luffy, like, if I come across him on the street and I encounter him, what do we expect out of Luffy? He's a goofy guy. He's a fun-loving guy. He loves freedom. So for me, Gear 5 is the epitome of what Luffy is, bro. It's the epitome of what Luffy is. It's goofy, it's silly, it's free. He can do whatever he wants in that form. And the best part about it is, he doesn't gotta be angry to do it. So many shonen characters gotta get angry to get into their final form. Luffy can do it with laughter, bro. Isn't that sick? Isn't that awesome? I feel like that's awesome. I feel like that's a hype thing. Like, that's so original, man. Mace Man says, yeah, I see your point, bro. Just hope Gear 5 isn't going to always be this nonsense stuff. Well, man, what I can say is if you haven't been caught up on the manga, if you haven't seen how that fight ends, I won't say anything, but what I will say is I've seen the rest of Wano, and there's part of me, I definitely think Luffy can be serious when he needs to be in Gear 5. When he needs to be serious, he can turn it up. And I think you will be pretty satisfied with how it ends. So, he does get serious. He does get serious. But I like that he doesn't have to always be serious. You know what I mean? I like that he can just go all out without being serious. This is a whole other conversation. But one thing I've noticed throughout my life is that the people that are the best in anything, you find something you want to get good at, right? You find like a sport or a game or whatever you want to get good at. And no matter what, I always look at the best people, the top level players, the top level athletes. I look at them and I'm like, what did they do to get here? What's their mentality? And almost, I think the universal common denominator between all the best in everything, whatever they do, the common denominator is that they're not results oriented. They don't care about winning or losing. Their number one denominator is that they all have fun with what they do. It's all about that, man. If you have fun with what you do, If you really love what you do, you'll be good at it. If you have fun with what you do, you'll be good at it. You have to have fun with it, though. Luffy is one of the only pirates in the entirety of One Piece that seems to have fun with the journey. Everyone else is so hell-bent on getting to the One Piece. Everyone else is so determined to be the pirate king or to be the best or whatever. It's bullshit. None of it matters. And that's why they get their asses kicked by Luffy. Because they stand in the ring across from a guy. The only reason Luffy's there is because he's having fun with it. When Usopp asked Rayleigh what if the One Piece was even real, what was Luffy's answer? He got angry. He got tight at Usopp. And why? He's like, I don't even want to know if it's real. I don't even want to know if there's a point to this journey. Because if I get that spoiled for me, there's no point at all. And for me, that speaks to me, because it's like, for Luffy, the only reason he's doing anything is because he enjoys it, is because he has fun. It brings him joy. That's Joy Boy. You know, joy comes to him from the adventure. The journey to the top comes to him. His powers, the fighting. Luffy has fun fighting. It brings him joy, clearly. He loves to fight. That's the only thing he cares about, basically. So it's like, why shouldn't the most powerful form of this man represent that, right? He's the best. If you want Luffy to be the best, I want Luffy to be the best. We all want Luffy to be the best, right? Well, the best people in anything love what they do. The best people in anything have fun with it. They have fun. They don't care about winning or losing. They have fun with the process. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Luffy has fun with the process. Therefore, fighting should be fun for Luffy. His form, his final form, Gear 5th, is the epitome of having fun with combat. It's having fun with his journey to Pirate King. So I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand the reservations. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. When I first read the chapter, when I first saw Gear 5, hey man, for a second, I was a little bit hesitant too. I was like, I don't know. I don't know, man. You know, like, I don't know if this is going to be the way. But then I thought about it. I literally gave it like a night's sleep. I just thought about it. And I read the manga back. I read some of the earlier. I read the Gear 2nd reveal. I read the Gear 3rd reveal. I went back and I looked at it and I was like, does this make sense? Does this make sense with Luffy? The ultimate conclusion I came to, brother. Mace, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. Whether you like it or not, whether we like it or not. That's how Luffy has the best, he has the most fun doing it that way. Who am I to say that he shouldn't? If Luffy was some edgy Super Saiyan type form in his Gear 5th, that'd be cool. It'd be great eye candy. I would love it. It'd be really fun to watch the special effects on screen fly all over the place. But at the end of the day, what are we here for? Are we here to watch Luffy become Pirate King the way that Luffy wants to be Pirate King? Or are we here to watch him do it with brute force, you know, just like Goku the way to the top? I don't know if we're here for that, man. We stuck this way through the journey to see Luffy do it his way. He's always done it his way. That's one of the reasons I think Luffy's one of the best shonen protagonists ever, is that he doesn't compromise. And Oda as an author, that's the best part about it. Oda as an author does not compromise either, right? He has this idea of Luffy in his head, of how he needs Luffy to be. If I came to you, and I know we're going on a rant here. This is not all directed at Mace. I'm not trying to make it. I'm going on my little tangent here. But the point is, right? If I came to you, you were some executive and in a boardroom, and I came to you and said, I want to make a shonen protagonist, and his main power is that he can stretch around like rubber. He's like Mr. Fantastic. He's just a stretchy guy. The average person that's like into shonen manga would look at you and be like, what, no energy blasts? What, no getting stronger with getting angry when your friends get hurt? You're telling me you're going to give this guy just the power of rubber and that's it? You'd be laughed out of the boardroom. It's the most unrealistic power for a shonen protagonist, and yet Luffy made it work. With his imagination, with fun, right? And Oda as an author made it work. He's an author in a sea of shonen mangaka. Even, you even look at the modern examples, right? Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, One Punch Man. One Punch Man is an outlier. But like JJK, MHA, right? These are pro tags that have been gifted immense power. They've been gifted immense power from some sort of Deus Ex Machina. All Might gives a fucking hair to Deku. Yuji eats the Sukuna's finger or whatever. All well and good. But I will say, it's pretty standard for shonen. It's pretty standard. You have a pro tag that's the host to an incredibly powerful demon, and the demon makes them really strong in a fight. Naruto did that. Oh, you have a pro tag who's been passed on this wonderful power from his hero, and he gets this generational power. There's plenty of there's a lot of shonen that have done that. With you have a mentor that passed on all they know to their mentee. That's a pretty classic formula. But One Piece, man, One Piece, Luffy is the only one. He gets his power. He gets this power that on paper should be dog shit. It really is. Rubber power on paper should be dog shit. And he makes it work for 1,000 chapters. And then suddenly he changes forms. He gets Toon Force. And a lot of people are like, oh man, I don't like this power. And it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like if One Piece came out in the modern day, people would look at a dude with rubber powers and be like, I don't really like that power. That's kind of lame. It's kind of boring. I feel the same way about Gear 5th. It's like, I think people just need to adjust to it, you know? It's very Luffy. It's very Luffy. That's how it feels to me. So, I like that it's a change of pace, man. I like that it feels different. It really does feel different. And the one cool part about it is that a lot of, like, shonen protagonist powers, they're all built in the universe. They never get meta with it. I like that Luffy is getting meta with it, you know? Like, not only is he doing, like, Toon Force, but, like, he's doing shit that, like, only works in comic book rules. It's, like, cartoon rules only. And it doesn't even work in his world. Like, Kaido's sitting there commenting on it. He's like, this is, like, out of a comic book or what. Like, what is this shit? And it's like, man. It's like Luffy's breaking the fourth wall almost with his power. It's really cool. It's, like, really unique, man. So, yeah, I love it. I personally love it. Regardless of anyone out there who doesn't like Gear 5th, I hope you do come around one day. No shame in disliking it. That's fine. If you wanted, like, a Super Saiyan type thing, well, I understand that too. Because Gear 2nd, if we're being real here, Gear 2nd is badass. Gear 4th, Snake Man, is fucking badass. So, like, if you expected another cool, I'm gonna hit you hard, badass, cool looking form from Luffy, and then you get, you know, Gear 5th all white, laughing, bouncing all over the place, becoming a cartoon man, I could expect, I'm not surprised that you don't love it. What I will say is just be patient with it. Give it time. I promise it'll satisfy you. The way Luffy beats the shit out of people when he's in cartoon mode is really satisfying to me. Seeing a character like Kaido who's super edgy and his whole existence is based around this edgy belief of, like, being the strongest, survival of the fittest. I'm gonna outpower everyone. And then seeing someone like that be subject to some just bullshit, like, cartoon, like, I'm gonna use you as a jump rope. Like, seeing that sort of thing is really fucking awesome, man. It's so funny. It's like taking everything that Kaido thought was, like, valuable and just turning it on its head and showing him it's not all about strength. It's also about will. It's also about being a good guy. It's about loving. It's about laughter. It's about joy and happiness. It's not about spreading pain. And you take someone like Kaido, whose entire message is around strength, blood, pain, and you contrast it with someone who's just bouncing around, doing whatever they want, and saying, I don't agree with you, fuck you, I'm gonna stretch your eyes out of your head, and I'm gonna use you as a jump rope. There's something about that that's not only humbling for Kaido, but exciting for the audience, and I really enjoy that a lot. I really do enjoy that a lot. So, I've come around a lot on Gear 5th, man. I love Gear 5th now. I really do. I love it. Tangent over.